Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 481, and today we're doing battle in a Singleton Gauntlet. And so this will be our last Singleton Gauntlet of this opening patch of the Fates Voyage Onward, and we're bringing you what everyone always wants to see, a little bit of Yasuo. And so Yasuo is featured within this deck. We have him and the Landmark and a handful of ways to stun based off of all of these skill-based Jhin units, but he's really just the opening act in this deck. The star of the show today is going to be the Wildfire. And so Wildfire did really pop off over the course of the past standard season. This is what I would call as the most popular aggro deck running around, and it was one of the few decks that actually had a positive win rate against all the Warden of the Tribes decks. But the idea with the Wildfire deck is it would only play two spells, right? It would play Wildfire and it would play Rejuvenating Breeze. Rejuvenating Breeze being a spell that would draw other spells, which in turn just draws you more wildfires. It also has a couple of additional ways to pick up spells. In standard, you're stuck with Spirit of the Wuju, just a unit that comes down fairly cheaply and then draws a spell. But the card that I'm mainly interested in is one that I was a little bit worried about as the Variety patch came out and Riot started messing around with the Scattered Pod. And so they reduced its cost from 6 to 5, but they took a tune off of it. And what that does is it gives us this really high-powered unit. A 5/5 for 5 mana is not a bad deal, and it can guarantee that we either draw a slow spell, which we play one, that's just Wildfire, or we can pick up the burst speed spells to come out and draw the draw twos if we want. So if we have a ton of mana in the mid game, we can get a draw two and a Wildfire. And so this is one of the cards I was kind of worried about it in the sense that there weren't a ton of really powerful spells that you wanted to tutor for in the past. You could go and find Go Hard and Pack Your Bags, but that was fairly slow and fairly meh. As the current formats have really paced themselves out. But now Wildfire is a card that is most certainly worth tutoring for. And having access to cards like Scattered Pod and Spirit of the Wuju and Rejuvenating Breeze gives us that real consistency that we'd be looking for in terms of drawing the Wildfire. And so that is the main focus of our deck today. I'm curious to see how it goes, given that we only get access to one copy of Wildfire, and we're going to have to kind of finagle how we handle our spells a little bit more cleverly, if you will, than what you see in Standard, but I think that we'll be able to manage. And so after that, again, we are playing Jhin. We have a large collection of the Jhin-based cards within this deck. I tried to keep the deck fairly aggressively oriented with a lot of early drops in it, since those are the kind of cards that tend to play nicely into the high-powered stuns like the Stagehand. And so we do have this kind of two-pronged attacks spewing out from Yasuo, if you will, as to where we have a lot of early game aggression. That aggression is assisted with the stuns like the Stagehand, but if the game drags on a little bit, we do have Yasuo to help get an additional angle of value out of the Stagehand. And so we're looking to come in, get a lot of this early aggression, and then when the aggression dies down because our opponent's units got better than ours, hopefully we can come in and finish things off with the Wildfire. And so that is it. That's the deck we're doing battle with today, but before the battles begin, you know what we got to do. We got to pay that pay-to-win price, and where are you at, Wildfire? Just what we needed to be turning premium today, just what the Annie ordered. Let's go ahead, premium up, and jump on in. All right, off we go. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this plays out. I didn't play a ton of the Wildfire deck in Standard. I thought it was kind of memey. Like, I could recognize that the power existed, but I didn't really enjoy the Wildfire decks. I feel like I probably should have gave them about another 20 games of credit, and maybe I would have felt a little bit differently, but I didn't really dive in, and so we'll see if we can pull it off with only one copy of the Wildfire. Then, you know, things have to be going pretty well, right? But let's see how this goes. So let's hang on to some of this early aggression. We can keep the Crackshot Corsair. We had the Ravenbloom Tome to go with it. Now picking up the Tome with Annie really gives us a chance to pop off here in the early game. See if the opponent can keep up. Very strong curve with Annie into the Squire, into the Corsair, and the Tome. See how it goes. I'm hype about this. Just come out here and zing you with the big with the big gen draws. What do we got? Overwhelm. Okay, okay. You gotta do something right. You got all this mana. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, snap, my dude. Fam Jam, you're just getting blown up by Annie. Alright, alright. That's what the aggro's about. Let's get started. Maybe we'll draw Wildfire this game. Who knows? We got a deep meditation, and so got a couple of angles. Alright, he's got his elusive guy ready to go. But man, do we really want to see this deck in action in Eternal Season when Deep Meditation only costs 3 mana, right? We're out here these current days spending full price on cards like Rejuvenating Breeze, but that's not the way that it has to be. All right, we're just gonna come in and take all of this damage. If we can find a way to, interact with these units next turn, awesome. If not, then we'll still just be open attacking here. We can get in an extra point of damage, putting the Blade Fragment onto Annie, and so we'll see how this goes. All right.
Finally, some real work.
Oh no, I want to hook the tough unit.
Know what rune weaving is.
Okay, so this will get a Annie flip along the way. Get some of those high-powered Annie shots in, and then she does have Overwhelm, so if she gets blocked and then the unit gets removed, she still gets to deal that 2 regular damage straight through the combat. Uh-oh, it's gonna hit Annie, isn't he? It's kind of fucked up, dude. It's kind of messed up. Out here trying to have some fun, you do nonsense like that. All right, but see if we just can get out of this upcoming turn without dying, and we should be okay. The maker on Kayn is huge.
The stage, the actor, the grave.
Get out of here, bruh. All right, so let's get started. He has to be, pretty aggressive with his attacks here. We do have Tibbers in hand, so if he lets us play Tibbers, he currently kills all of his units. Would have been nice to drop the Tibbers on the Kayn, but we just didn't have the time for that kind of thing. Now we do. Pretty good turn, right? Killing 2 of his units and stunning the Kayn. I dig it. Look at that, Kayn. He has that baby attack. He's not even he's not even strong enough to block a Tibbers. Okay, play your card, I guess. Alright, so what's our most likely way to finish things off this turn? Doom Beast gives us a nice way to deal damage. I was looking towards just, say, playing Captain Erica and hitting Kayn. I think that's the angle we'll want to take, but let's see. Let's lead off with Precious Pet. See what happens. If we're going to play Captain Erica, then we can still cast her. If we want to go Doom Beast, then we'll still have the mana that way as well. Is that Aatrox? Is that the new version? The new skin? Ooh, it's different to me. Not used to seeing that one. So how does this stand? We can just say Captain Erica Aatrox now. He can block Tibbers with Kayn, but then he still takes a ton of damage. Cool.
One heart can shake the fate of a nation.
We'll want to attack with this Captain Erica way down to the right. There could be a situation to where he comes in and kills Captain Erica and then gets to resummon Aatrox and gain a couple health. Just be an odd way to, mess up our combat here. So we'll send her down to the right just to make sure that the last points of damage rolling through would be that Aatrox damage. We're looking good. Got a victory. Getting that Ravenbloom Tome to Annie running through. We cast a Wildfire. Feels pretty good, my dudes. Okay. And so yeah, again, I have to mention in these videos, I'm going to be very busy with work over the course of the next week. I'm going to try my best to keep up with some of the content. I know for a fact I'm not going to be able to get daily stuff out. And as it kind of stands right now, I'm gonna try my best to do a patch notes review and churn out a couple of videos after that, right once the balance patch hits. But I feel like I'm gonna be pretty limited. But if I go 2 or 3 or 4 days without putting a video out, don't freak out. We're not quitting Runeterra. Hopefully we're not dead. hopefully everything's okay. I'm just busy with work. So I wanted to keep making mention of that. If we're a part of your daily YouTube content ingestion, you fire up the daily playlist, Bust Not In It. You say, "Oh fuck, where's that hick ass voice I like to start my day off with?" So you'll get through. You'll get through. All right, back into the next one. Looks like a Seraphine Pile with Noxus in it. Let's see how it goes. And so, I don't really want to be hanging on to the Witness. We have reasonable chances to activate it. You can generate some of the slower stuff off of the Explorers, but it's a fairly mid-gamey kind of play, and I'd like to complement this Legion Rearguard a little bit if we can. Right. Nice, aggressive crew of friends coming together. We got the combos in hand too. If you're not familiar with the Yasuo Katarina deck, you can use the Hillock to go and grab your Yasuo, and then the key thing with it is when you gain the attack token, stun the strongest enemy, and then if you're playing Katarinas over and over and over again to generate stuns, gives you a fantastically strong way to just continually stun all of the opponent's board while you're rallying and getting a bunch of attacks in. So we'll see if it comes up. We should have a bit of time to get that kind of thing together. As it stands right now, Miriam is a little bit of a pain in the ass. She doesn't let us use our Samira to full effect, but we still have decent attacks with the 2-3 power units, and it does kind of limit the opponent in their desire to add a smaller play here.
Shall not prosper.
Yep. Fairly unfortunate. That's just kind of is what it is, though.
Sun, run, bun. Doesn't have to rhyme.
All right, fairly strong collection of friends again. Don't think we want to add in Katarina just yet. It's unfortunate to drop Katarina and just have her die, but like as we stop and think about the deck we're playing, right, we're not going to have the ability to protect her anyways, so maybe we can just throw her down. The downside to putting her down is like we end up just wasting that Blade's Edge. But as far as our other units go, it's like we don't want to play the stage hand until next turn, and then we got to kind of give up some mana to make that style of play. I guess it just kind of is what it is. I'm going to take the landmark destruction here. These decks tend to play like the new updraft land, or they play back alley bars. This one we'll have to see what turns up with, but usually don't have to worry too much about things like equipment. All right, yeah, and then just a bit of a bummer as far as this hand is concerned. Definitely want to be getting in with the stage hand. But I'm looking to... I'll play the stage hand onto the Mixologist. I'll play the Spellslinger onto whatever his next unit is. That should ideally leave us in a spot to where we can hook Seraphine with Samira. Or I guess we can hook Forge Chief with Samira now. And not have to risk losing her in a combat. Sure.
I know what I must do. Hope they're watching.
It's a real pain in the dick being up against this removal pile, especially when they have the smooth mixologists, but that's what they're trying to do.
The order
So what are the chances we want to just try and flip this Samira? Like, I know that we have the Yasuo boat in hand. Maybe we are interested in just getting the boat down in the sense that it lets us start stunning stuff next turn. But, man, flipping the Samira just seems like it's going to be so good.
No going back.
All right. We're going the champion route.
Changes but never breaks.
Our stuff's top notch.
Well, we got a Samira flip. She can generate some more rallies for us as well using Samira and Katarina and the boat. So we'll see if anything comes out of that. I don't have high expectations for it, but you know, better than nothing.
Waters are still.
And this mixologist is going to be a real pain in the ass. I think we're just kind of stuck getting started. I want to play the Hillock this turn. Ooh, we got the flip though. Okay. Things have definitely looked worse before. So this will leave us in this spot to where, I mean, we can play the Hillock, we'll draw Yasuo. Next turn we can play Yasuo. We can play Katarina. We'll have a bit of mana backed up. We might be generating rallies off Samira. Pretty big turn that we could put together. Yasuo's about to hit that flip as well. Getting spicy out here. Getting spicy.
Shaking or stir. Oh, think I got a beat.
I go where the road takes me.
Oh, this is going to be lame, isn't it? Okay. you play your Yasuo, you see the spell come in, and you're just like, fuck, this is just going to be lame. I can already tell. But looking strong. We have this attack ready to go. We'll have a rally lined up this turn if we want it, off of the flares and the blade's edges. So we could do a lot of cool shit this round. Oh, he even adds this landmark thing. Oh boy. That's all very tempting here. Seraphine's nowhere near flipping, so let's go ahead and pop her with the blade's edge. And then, it's a bummer. But we'll be looking to blow up the Sunken Temple this round. We're gonna mess this up, aren't we? A little bit. Mess it up a little bit. I don't want to play the flare because we're gonna rally off of it. And so we have to wait until we get into combat first. Then bother with this now. If we give Samira Challenger, so the strongest unit when we get the rally is going to be Seraphine, so Yasuo will hit Seraphine. Then the question is, do we even want to bother with hooking Janna? Probably not. So let's try and blow up the landmark. We'll get the rally off of this.
Sorry, Papa.
Yasuo says bling blow. And a Nopify. Sure. Right, we'll be short of the lethal. It's like if we attack with Samira and then he blocks Samira, we can only be taking him down to 1. Which, I mean, if we're gonna be real, that's probably good enough. But we have the Buru Cultist and the Demolitionist in hand. But I don't know. I don't feel particularly strong about it. right, Yasuo's about to get himself another strike. Bling, blow. Oof. Oof, here comes a big hit. Nice. Nice. Doing that good old Yasuo stuff. Feels good, my dudes. Feels good. We might have to try and bring this back next time Unlimited Champions is around. I've been interested in Unlimited Champions since the release of this set with the additions of like trying to play weird Twisted Fate decks, but I don't think I ever tried to do Samira, Katarina, Yasuo in that set in that format. And so gotta write that down in the notebook and remember it for next time. But we'll see how these go. As I kind of said in our last Gauntlet video, you have to play a lot of those Seraphine piles that just take a long time with the games. And so we typically try and get in 8 games or a full Gauntlet. I can't be putting together hour and 45-minute, 2-hour videos for this today. And so we'll cut it off at about 4. We'll see how long this next game takes. And maybe we'll get a 4th one in. What do we got here? This style of deck worries me. Well, I guess I should say this worries me if we were playing typical constructed, as to where this is a Hecarim tokens deck. Like, we don't function very well against it, but it's gonna depend on how high he rolls in terms of his draw. But I'm gonna cycle away the tome. We don't really have a tome hand like we did in that first game. We have just a general curve hand here, but if he's not really adding units to the board and we get a nice Arachnoid Sentry on turn 3, lots of opportunity for big attacks.
Spin it round, throw it down.
Like he's just gonna make a regular attack with the Ribbon Dancer, right? Do we want to put a unit down first to try and challenge this thing?
Good steel and a good
I think I'm okay with it. Doesn't. Ooh, and we picked up the quick attack fragment, so we don't necessarily have to go for Samira this turn. We're still going to. Don't get me wrong, she's too good against this board the opponent's made, but did have that option to switch the game plan. So there's not a guarantee that Samira wins this attack. They play the +2/+2 ephemeral thing. There's a decent chance they play the -2 attack Shurima predict spell. We won the combat there, so that was pretty cool. But with opponent having 1 mana, there was no guarantees that Samira was safe. But I don't think we're ever just passing there.
Show them no weakness.
Now I'm gonna stun this Irelia, try and stop some of these Diaz attacks. He can still play the Flawless Duet out of hand, but this will limit a little bit of what she's able to do if he can't make a natural attack on the turn. Right, and then I'm leaning towards just starting to drop Katarina again. We have like the interesting burn package in hand to where we can deal a bit of damage with Tusk Speaker and Doom Beast. Yone Windchaser turning up. He's going to be a big stun for next turn. I think I like this even more. Let's get you in here, Cat.
Never play fair.
What terrors must we face out here?
Whatever they are, we face them together, Little Blossom.
Sure. So let's see. The Flare gives Samira Challenger. We're going to hook Irelia with Samira. Now we'll put the bird onto Katarina. Katarina's just going to go back into hand anyways. And then we'll still have this Blade's Edge if we want to shoot something down. Not super likely, but the option's there. I don't think we're going to be be trying to flip Samira. I am pretty confident next turn we're just going to play Yone. Do whatever we can to try and keep him from attacking with this Emperor's Diaz. But, I mean, we do have the chance to flip Samira. Yeah. It's been decided. I'm not excited about that. So now the big question is, what are the chances opponent has another unit, right? We want to, try and stop everything. And if he just gets to attack with a Azir here, it kind of sucks, but I think we'll pass. It's a pretty good turn for us if he just doesn't get to attack. There we go. Chase those winds, my dude. Beautiful, beautiful. I saw that last card come down and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. No way he's got another unit, but didn't have to worry about it. Now the thing you have to worry about here is a card like Dragon Ambush. There's a chance he's got it, but we're safe to open attack. We have Katarina in hand, so we can follow up with more stuff after this. So let's do this. Let's give Samir a challenger. Gonna start sending in the squad. We'll attack with everybody. If he wants to take the full 6 hit off of Yone to protect his Azir, I'm fine with that. Now we're in a spot to where we can just hook Azir out of combat, and we're much, much closer to the lethal. I mean, we can just lethal with the cards we have in hand right now without even needing to attack, between 1 from the Speaker, 2 from the Doom Beast, and 1 from the Flare. Okay. I think we're okay. Like, even if he does one more Blade Dance, we're not too scared about what's going on. And then we'll have this Blade's Edge in hand, just in case.
When we look ahead,
Alright, we're good.
know how to prepare. It won't get past me. Of course I'm ready.
He drops in the GG. I'll deliver one as well. We can get ourselves into game 4. Boom. All right. All right. Whew. Good stuff. Then I'm happy we've had a little bit of success with old Yasuo out here today. Make the legions of fans so happy. Good stuff. So, man, something else. I uninstalled Hearthstone yesterday. I got so mad. I just finally got rid of it. And so my space in gaming right now is I like to have 2 games, right? I play Runeterra for the bulk of my time. But it's like a game you have to think about, right? It's very tough to just like sit down and have like an autopilot kind of game in the evening to where, you've got football on and you're drinking a beer and you're not just wanting to sit there and just like hard mode think about everything that's going on. And so I typically play Runeterra throughout the course of the day, and then in the evenings, I would prefer to be playing Teamfight Tactics. I really enjoy TFT. I think it's a fantastic game. And it really kind of fits the bill there, right? I don't have to take it super seriously. It's still got the tie-in themes with the Riot characters, so I'm familiar with everyone there. And then it's just got like absolutely beautiful visuals during all the battle scenes, right? And so it really feels like a win to me, especially in the sense like when you compare it to Hearthstone and you're like, okay, what does this look like when I play Hearthstone? It's a bunch of like circles smashing into other circles, right? It's like nowhere. It's not even in the same like ballpark in terms of how much more visually appealing Teamfight Tactics is than Battlegrounds on Hearthstone. But the thing that Hearthstone has going for it that Teamfight Tactics does not is that my brother plays. He played Battlegrounds and he played Hearthstone and stuff. I could never get him to switch over into the space of Riot games, and so that was my kind of fucking around game in the evening, was playing playing Battlegrounds, but it got so obnoxious. Like they have over the course of the past year just taken every feature that Riot has come out with and copied it and put it into their game, which, you know, that is what it is. As far as the gaming industry is concerned, people are going to take the good features that other people have and incorporate it into their own thing. There's so many games, or so many concepts over the course of Legends of Runeterra that just existed in Magic or Hearthstone or something. Like, that's not what burns me, but where this is going is they added in the augment system that you have in Teamfight Tactics, and one of the augments that they added in basically just destroys the board every turn, and then you get to draw a fresh hand every turn, or, you know, you get a bunch of extra money, you get to put more additional units on the board. And so, like, I'm fine with that conceptually, right? There's you know, interesting ways that you can come about with dealing with the board going away every turn. You can play stuff that buffs the opposing deck. You can hold certain units into your hand. You can buff the units in your hand. There's like a lot of different angles that you can take with it, but the kind of key thing in Battlegrounds is your hero, right? You get a hero power, and that's what really differentiates everything that you have going on between the other players in the game. And, like, on top of that, to where they have that ability that just destroys the board every turn, there's just this large collection of heroes that are only viable for one turn of the game, right? There's so many ones that just want to sit around and have you be building up your board, and if you take away that aspect of building up board, then it's very easy to just get in this spot where it's like, oh cool, my opponent has a champion that's relevant throughout the entirety of the game. I have a champion that's only relevant for one turn. And so since I played the game casually, I'm fine with, like, queuing up, letting the game start, seeing that the champions aren't that exciting, and then just quitting and starting over. But it happened 3 times to me. It happened 3 times that I cycled through champions that were just combat irrelevant. And so I finally just said, fuck it, okay, this is it. And I went and uninstalled it, and I've been back to playing Teamfight Tactics. And so, you know, the family functions aren't as interesting anymore, I guess. But that game is dead to me now. Just so I'm finally fucking done. I've been released. I've been let free from the lands of Blizzard. Alright, what's going on with this game? I started to lose a little bit of focus here. Not a bad hit off of the portal. I was planning on getting to drop the ballista and attack with everybody. It's a little less appealing now that, excuse me, he's got the big boy on board. Alright, well, let's just send with what we have. And we'll start trying to wildfire here. We have the one, we have the breeze. With the breeze, we'll pick up the wildfire and our other draw spell. Did we play our other draw spell? I was going on and on and on about games that aren't relevant here, and I lost track of what we've already done. I think we're good. Alright, the 2 damage wildfire in the deck. Good stuff. Saiyan Thousand Tail. It'll be good next turn. We can probably fill the board out. Oh, so we got 1 wildfire. That's it. that's the only one left. We did play our other draw too. Okay. It's kind of lame. I guess our Saiyan Thousand Tailed would have been pretty good on this turn. Now that he's going to get to pie toss our whole team away. Fine, dude. We'll just play a Darken. it's always the answer to everything. Oh, I was not expecting the landmark to come in. We chose wrong with the Explorer. Make the best of it. Cosmic Call. All right. These are two cards that don't seem like they really mesh to me. Playing Cosmic Call with the Sunken Temple. It's like, if you're only going to have the card in your hand for one turn, you usually just like invoke into something that you really want. And it just kind of feels like you'd rather just play another invoke. I guess you're going to have games where you just don't draw Cosmic Call and it feels a lot better having the Temple, but seems odd to me. Gotta like seeing that opening Tom trick. Saying, I got nothing. I got nothing, bust.
Fresh start. Just looking for a sign.
Katarina turning up. How big are we gonna try and go here? I mean, we can play Katarina and open attack. It's unfortunate with Katarina and him having a Windborn Mariner on board. Maybe we just take that a little bit slower.
I heard the war song in the waves.
Right, if we're gonna get the 1 damage Blade's Edge that we can't cast, it's not particularly exciting. Okay. So I think this sequence is sort of in his favor, right? It's weird stuff happens with these end of turn effects and jinx and flipping. I think his end of turn stuff happens. So he's gonna updraft his hand away. Then jinx is gonna flip. So he'll have a death rocket in his hand. Then he's still able to create more death rockets next turn. But once his end of turn thing happens, our Naganika's gonna fight jinx. Oh, he lost the fleeting thing. I thought it stuck around. Maybe I'm thinking of having stress testing in hand? I don't know.
Striking looks and stunning wit.
We can stop a lot of this board here.
What wondrous discoveries await
Oh,
below.
where you at? Katarina.
Never play fair.
Lead the way, book.
Just physically playing Yumi, huh? Wow. We don't even bother with this. Like, as it stands right now, we can just attack and then play Katarina again. Which seems better to me than, say, like Blades edging the Mariner than him just playing another unit. I guess we still have the mana at this point to continue on with Katarina if we want to. Let's at least see if he's like, oh fuck, I have to play a 5-drop now.
That was
Okay.
great. Now let's really bring it.
So Seraphine flips, but he's only got 2 mana at this point.
This might hurt.
Our attack isn't that spectacular. We put Seraphine in front of Spirit of the Wuju, put Yumi in front of our 3-5, this 3-2 in front of our 5-1, and we're hitting for like 5 damage.
Sit tight and shut up. No one's the wiser. Stealth over strength.
Alright, battle step.
Behind ya.
So he's got to block our 5 and our 4, probably. Something around that space. So we're looking at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Should be lethal without another card. Remember to do your combat math after you put all your units in the board. That's the way to that's the way the pros do it right there. Okay. A 0 mana gotcha? Jeez. So we should be fine. He goes to 2, but we have the Demolitionist in hand.
If they don't break, they'll burn.
right, we did it. Victory unlocked. 100% win rate with Yasuo. You saw it here first. Good stuff. So we can pull this up and talk about it a little bit more. And so, in terms of Singleton, did Wildfire do the stuff we wanted it to? Not really. You don't have the density of wildfires. You're never going to just draw it naturally. And the tools that you need to really just kind of make it show up. But, the thing that does get interesting with this is if you are in that mindset, if you are in that space of say, I've played Annie Gen, or I've played the Ionia version, and you're able to pick out like the really aggressive aspects that you like. Now that once you get into this space of Eternal, you do have that option to where you can say, okay, well, I want to play Annie Gen, and I'm just, instead of playing Ionia for the card draw things, the Rejuvenating Breeze or the Deep Meditation, I'm just going to play Spirit of the Wuju and Scattered Pod, right? Because now I have access to 6 separate units that can come out and draw Wildfire, and then I don't have to play those spells. And so it's a very kind of interesting aspect that you have there. Now, they are much slower, but that's kind of like deck number 1, or deck number 2 is if you are wanting to play the Ionia version, you get access to Deep Meditation now, which should just be costing you 3 mana, instead of costing you 5 mana that you get out of the Rejuvenating Breeze, which is incredibly important in how fast you can chain these things off. And so if it's, say, like turn 5 and you have 3 spell mana banked up, you can Deep Meditation into Deep Meditation. That's 6 mana, then you can Wildfire twice, and then that still leaves you with an extra spell or 2 in there that you maybe finish the game off with the next turn. And so very powerful things that we're going to see upcoming in this Eternal season. I think it's very safe to say that the Fate's Voyage Onward is going to have a pretty huge impact on the Eternal season, and I'm interested to see how it comes out. And so again, this deck, it's kind of a Gen deck, kind of a Yasuo deck, kind of a Wildfire deck. I readily admit there's not enough card draw in here to really get the Wildfire to pop off, but it was nice to kind of come out and try some of these concepts before we get there, because I had quite a bit of fun with this one. Hope you did too. And so that is going to do it for us today. So I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way, and you had a good time watching. So this is Bust, and we thank you for being here.